Hey, hey, Blue Table fans! It's time. That was like a whoosh of happiness. It's time for a bit of a ramble. So this one's going to be a little controversial. Controversiale. Okay, so this is called showing up to work. And how do I explain this? Okay, so at home, I have a vision board. And it's unlike any other vision board I've ever seen, because I went nuts with it, and it is so fun. It's the best thing. I've actually had quite a few people say, hey, how does this work? What's the whole deal? Well, I can't really tell you because I'm making it up as I go along. But I am going to make a video about it because I think it would be of great benefit to at least a few people. So here's how it works. I find pictures online of stuff I think is cool to help put down in a solid form how I would like things if I could have them any way I wanted. So that's the big question from which all this sprouts, which is if you could have your life any way you wanted without any limitation at all, how would it be? And it's a fun exercise. The trick to doing this is to get rid of the limiting voices, especially the how. Like, because you might put something up and be like, well, how can I do that? Well, I don't know how. So you pare back the vision. But on one wall, I probably have like 200 images, right? And then some of them have like captions under them. Some of them have quotes, like that person is saying something to me. Or it could be, I have a whole section under personal, which is an idealized self that, if I could be any type of person that I wanted to, what kind of person would I be? And so on mine, I have home, and then I have home and transportation, and then I have personal, and personal includes food. So there you go, shelter and food, and then I have family and relationships. So that's for me that doesn't include professional relationships. That's a different section, and and answering the question, well, okay, what about friends? How many friends would I like? What are they like? What do we talk about? What is it that we do? And so could use more of those. Would be nice to have a little bit larger group of people to go and do things with, or talk about things. Read books. Book club. Actually, I've been thinking about forming one of those. Like what's that called? Like I used to have back in Oregon, I used to have a writers group, and so we'd meet every week and read things that we had written. So anyway, okay, so back to that. And then on the professional side, it's obviously businesses and professionals and stuff like that. All right, so I moved to the conference room because it was too noisy out there. And it's also weird what's funny is I'm talking about, I guess you'd call it personal stuff, but if there's other people in the room, I'm like, I don't want to, there's a little bit of extraneous ego that gets in there, and but it's okay to put it on YouTube in front of thousands of people. So anyway, so all of that is a lead up to this idea, I guess, okay, so what's great about my vision board room, because I have a room dedicated to this, is that it, in this space, I have complete say-so over what is created. Anything can be changed instantly. Descriptions for relationships, an item, something that I see that's interesting. I'm like, oh, I am into that. Let's have that. And so you just get it. You get it all up there, whatever it is. My vision board is, or vision walls, I guess, vision room, you'd call it actually now, is really, if you look at it, it's like, that's my soul. And so I put that all up and I'm like, oh my gosh, my soul is beautiful. It's awesome. Everything's so clean and wonderful. People are happy. You know, tons of family, wonderful relationships, warmth, health, loving, satisfaction, prosperity. All these awesome things are up there and I'm just like, when I'm in there, I'm so excited. Like I come out for the day, I'm ready to go. And I work out in there, so I'm looking at this stuff while I'm getting going. That's what it looks like when I'm working out, I guess. And it's really super. I really absolutely love it. Okay, so before I go on, I want to make my usual disclaimer is that this isn't a preachment. It's not a sermon. It's a freak show. I'm only opening up to, hey, look at this thing that I'm thinking about, this thing that I'm doing. Now what I've noticed is, you know, that's really for the vision board video. It's awesome though. It's great. I have so much fun with it. I play around with it almost every day. It's really like this fantastic sandbox to, you know, so I'll go on like Google Images, type in whatever the topic is, and I'll just go through. Just be like picture. Maybe 1 in 500 or 1,000 actually makes it onto the hard drive, and then I go through those, and it's a process of time too. Then I'm like, you know what? No, that's not so much what it is. Like food, for example, I've got sushi, New England clam bake, and Indian food. Awesome. But I'm going to start adding things. I need to add some. We went to like this Brazilian place, and that was all like Brazilian vegetarian. But it was like so thick and so tasty, and so I'm going to change that up, change up the food a little bit. Okay, so to continue, and blue table painting is up there. What is the idea? What does it look like when it's done? All right, so now to the concept of showing up for work. So what I've noticed is that as I put up relationships, I would actually, in a few cases, I would actually have a specific person in that spot for whatever the relationship was. And then I read this thing saying, and I believe this is true, I've admitted this into like the inner circle of believing it, is that you can't have a specific person because they also have their will and how they're looking at things, and maybe it's not the correct lineup there. And this could be for any type of relationship, even, you know, the guy that takes out the trash here, you know. And so what I came up with is relationship by slot, that I give a description of what it is, and then I'm just zen, I'm very open, and then I let that person drift into my experience. And then if that isn't like the right lineup, I guess, then I don't fight it. I just let that person drift right on out, and with my blessing and a great memory, and who knows, maybe they will come back, maybe they will move into some other type of role. So I guess slot is a bit of a mercenary term, I guess, by role, relationship by role rather than relationship by specific person. Now, okay, that's the concept. So that's what I call showing up for work. It's like, well, who's going to show up and do the work? So in business, I found the same concept is also very useful. That you know, if I have something that needs to be done here at the company, I don't go running somebody down to try and make them come and do it. Maybe they don't want to do it. Maybe it's not their thing. Maybe they just feel somehow obligated to be here because out of some kind of sense of duty, or because I'm nagging them. You know, and it's like, no, you just open the door and you let somebody else come in and do that. Somebody that's going to be happy about it. because it really is, it's all about joy. That sounds so corny, but I'm not worried about how it sounds right now. It is, I guess, one of my rules for life is that this world is a paradise meant to be enjoyed. And that's what I expect. And that tends to be how I perceive things and how I experience things. And that turns out to be the truth for me. That good things happen to Shawn. And I found that's the same is true of my kids. I don't force a perspective on them, but as I guess, gently turn their little heads to see the beautiful sunrise, something beautiful in life, something amazing. And I'm very, very, very excited for every single day. And so, well, that's my ramble for the day. I certainly appreciate my life. I have an amazing life. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, obviously deserving things isn't the way things happen. But then maybe I'm underestimating my deservingness. That as the offspring of this reality, obviously I'm here. I'm breathing air that's compatible with these lungs, and the rest of life to me is just as natural as well. Is that when good things happen, that's as natural as inhaling air. Oh my gosh, I inhaled air and not ammonium sulfide or whatever. It's all beautiful and good. I'm swimming around in this great existence. The world is my oyster, so to speak. Well, folks, that is your hopefully uplifting ramble for the day. And for me, I've had a much, much, much better time being very relaxed about my relationships and letting things and people come in at the right time, and then also letting them out. One little postscript on that, because there always is a little bit more to a ramble. Obviously, I must love the sound of my own voice. Is that is resistance. That, for example, I stopped at a garage sale. Didn't take me long to realize that it was a multi. And I don't normally. I love garage sales, but I don't normally stop at them. And I was kind of going. No, actually, I did have a little bit of time. And so it was a multifamily, and it was for a soccer team. They're trying to raise money. So I asked the gal there, Christy, how much are you trying to raise? She said, well, we need about $600. So I picked some things out, and we added them up, and they were things that were needed at the studio, wonderful additions to what it is that we're doing. By the way, I'm looking over there, it's because there's like people and cars and stuff. Very distracting. Over here, through this window, you just see a wall. Okay, so anyway, so they tell me the price. I haggle them up, actually give them more. I'm like, okay, I want you to deliver this to my studio. Here's how much, can we do it for this amount? And she's just like, are you sure? I don't know if I can accept this. And I'm like, Christy. I'm like, you obviously you're here. You had an expectation, a hope. In Mormon land, it's safe to say, well, are you praying for blessings? And the person is like, well, yes. I'm like, well, here I am. Here's the thing. And so that's an example of resistance. People a lot of times are like, are you sure? I don't know if I can accept this. No. It's like, no, that's resistance. You wanted this. You were hoping for it. You imagined it. And here it is. Don't say no now. It's like, hi, can I have some milk, please? Person goes to pour the milk. Whoosh! Stick your hand right over the cup. I don't know. No, don't do that. Relax and let the milk be poured into your glass. That everything's going to be wonderful. And so the same thing with relationships too. That it's something we've all heard about before. This idea of sabotaging relationships. that you know, if it gets too good, it's like, and then something's like, got to just beat yourself down back to your comfort zone. And it's actually occurred to me, well, that's an idea for another ramble. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm very excited to be here every day, and I'm going to continue to show you amazing fun. Batteries ran out. Okay, so thanks for tuning in, and I hope you got your inspiration for the day.